faithfully conveying value by interpreting the world's best books. Hello, this is Sally talking books. Today's book for you is How to Make the Right Decisions. When we make decisions, we often feel the clash between reason and emotion. Should I eat this cake in front of me? Should I hold or sell this stock? Hold or sell. Reason and emotion often lead to different choices. Many believe reason is superior to emotion, and we should always trust rational choices. This view has a long history. Ancient Greek philosopher Plato compared reason to a charioteer and emotion to a stubborn horse, thinking the charioteer must tame the horse with a whip to live happily. In the Enlightenment era, many scientists and thinkers see reason as sacred and lofty, while emotion is primitive and vulgar. It disrupts cognition and rational function. This view is still popular today. Many decision-making books introduce rational thinking tools to help readers analyze pros and cons objectively and overcome emotional interference.
But the book's author, Jonah Lehrer, offers a different take.
He believes people have misunderstood emotion for millennia, and it's crucial for decision-making. With only reason and no emotion, we can't make any decisions. Jonah Lehrer graduated in neuroscience from Columbia University, worked in Nobel laureate Eric Kandel's lab, contributes to outlets like The New Yorker and The Washington Post, and has written best-selling neuroscience books. In this book, Lehrer analyzes emotion and reason's roles and limitations in decisions from brain and neuroscience perspectives. He argues that overusing or underusing both harms making good decisions. We need to coordinate emotion and reason based on situations, letting them leverage strengths for better decisions. After publication, this book was dubbed the action version of the bestseller Thinking Fast and Slow. Dana Reilly, author of Predictably Irrational, praised it for exploring human decision-making mysteries and making us smarter.
Chris Anderson, author of The Long Tail, thinks Lehrer is a master storyteller, and this book is both useful and fun.
Next, I'll break down the book's main content into 3 parts. First, what are emotions' roles and limitations? Second, what are the roles and limitations of reason? Third, how to make the right decisions. First, let's discuss emotions' roles and limitations. The author believes emotion has 2 decision-making functions. First, providing decision basis. Without emotion, the brain can't make choices. To understand this, consider what happens when we lose emotion. In 1982, a patient named Elliot underwent surgery to remove a brain tumor near his frontal lobe. Before surgery, Elliot was a model husband and father holding senior management at a large company. Post-surgery, while his intelligence remained intact, he developed a critical defect: complete inability to make decisions. When decisions were required, Elliot would obsess over irrelevant details. For example, while most choose lunch spots quickly based on proximity or preferences, Elliot would meticulously analyze menus, seating layouts, and lighting. He'd even drive to restaurants to check crowding levels. Despite exhaustive analysis, he'd remain paralyzed with indecision. This destroyed his life: job loss, divorce, financial ruin, and bankruptcy. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio comprehensively examined Elliot. He discovered Elliot's frontal cortex damage prevented emotional experience. Our frontal cortex handles both cognition and emotional processing. A key structure within it is the orbital frontal cortex. Orbital refers to eye socket. Its function is transmitting emotions from other brain regions to consciousness. This fragile structure can fail from tumors or hemorrhages, causing unperceived emotions like Elliot's. Describing his tragedies, Elliot remained detached, as if discussing strangers, showing no sadness or frustration. Damasio showed Elliot graphic photos: mangled limbs, nudes, burning houses, etc. No matter how provocative or bloody the images, Elliot remained like a robot, showing no emotional reaction. According to the view that reason is superior to emotion, someone without emotions should make the best decisions. But Elliot's case overturns this view. Why is emotion so crucial for decisions? Reflecting on daily experiences, we realize emotions often drive our decisions. Choosing requires weighing pros and cons, which vary per person. and connect closely to emotional factors. Take lunch spots. Efficiency-focused people choose the nearest restaurant. Others prioritize taste. Delicious food justifies distance and cost. These are different emotional preferences. Similarly, older generations see big city careers as hard and unstable, advocating local civil service jobs for stability, benefits, and family support. But many youth prioritize meaning and excitement over stability and low risk. They seek self-fulfillment through work and rich life experiences. Hardship is worthwhile when pursuing passions. This preference makes sense. Without emotions or subjective likes, gains bring no joy, losses no sorrow. Choices become indistinguishable, making decisions impossible. Beyond daily choices, emotion also guides moral decisions. The book presents John Wayne Gacy, a contractor who hosted neighborhood barbecues. But this hospitable image was a carefully crafted lie. In 1980, Gacy was convicted of murdering 33 boys, paying them for sex before killing them in his living room. Post-arrest, Gacy showed normal intelligence but zero morality or guilt about harming others. Neuroscientists suspect damaged amygdalae in psychopaths like Gacy, brain regions generating fear and anxiety. Ordinary people's amygdalae activate when contemplating harm. This negative emotion prevents immoral acts. An abnormal amygdala causes emotional deficits, allowing people to commit cruel crimes without mercy. This finding also contradicts traditional views. Enlightenment thinkers like Descartes and Kant believed morality stems from rational thought. The more thoroughly one thinks, the more moral their decisions. Modern neuroscience shows that when facing moral choices, the brain automatically generates emotional reactions and makes decisions instantly. Afterwards, the thinking regions in the frontal cortex activate, and people devise persuasive reasons to justify their decisions. In other words, for moral decisions, reason isn't a scientist, it's a lawyer. Its purpose isn't to seek truth, but to gather evidence for a predetermined view and provide post hoc explanations to make our reactions seem rational. So, when someone's brain malfunctions and lacks the emotional feelings needed to guide moral decisions, their reason will gladly defend any crimes they commit, because emotion never tells them not to do it. As the book puts it, a madman isn't someone who loses reason, but someone who loses everything except reason. The second function of emotion, its second function is to predict the future, helping us make decisions with higher chances of success. In daily life, people often need to make decisions quickly. In intense games, football players must instantly decide who to pass the ball to. If they hesitate and think, they might get tackled by opponents. Directors often watch auditions while multitasking. Experienced ones can predict which actor fits in just seconds. These quick decisions rely on intuition. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux from NYU believes we encounter vast amounts of information in life, but attention is limited. So only a small portion of this information gets captured and processed consciously. Meanwhile, the subconscious mind analyzes and predicts information outside awareness, converting conclusions into emotional signals sent to the frontal cortex, making us feel good about beneficial choices and bad about harmful ones. That's the source of intuition. Intuition is closely linked to dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical that affects mood. When levels rise, we feel happy. When they fall, we feel uneasy. But it does more than that. Scientists found that when something happens repeatedly, our brain predicts based on past experience, altering dopamine levels before outcomes occur, making us feel good or uneasy in advance. This learning process happens subconsciously, faster than rational thought. In neuroscience, there's the famous Iowa gambling task by neuroscientist Damasio we mentioned earlier. Participants get 4 card decks and $2,000 in chips. And each card shows how much you win or lose. The decks seem random, but are rigged. 2 are high risk, big wins or big losses, while 2 are safer, smaller wins but almost no losses. Sticking to the safe decks guarantees profit. Rules are simple. Each round, players pick any deck to draw from. No need to draw evenly or from all. After multiple draws, whoever earns most wins. Players typically start by sampling all decks to find the most profitable, and they focus on that deck. On average, players need 80 draws to consciously identify the best deck. During draws, Damasio measured skin conductance. Higher levels mean more anxiety.
After just 10 draws, skin conductance spiked when hands reached for risky decks.
Meaning, though consciously unaware of danger, their subconscious detected patterns and sent emotional warnings. Like athletes and directors mentioned earlier, their subconscious, packed with experience, achieves high accuracy. It's through subconscious emotional intuition that experts make quick, precise decisions. All right, we've covered emotions' positive role in decisions. Now let's discuss its limitations. The book outlines 3 flaws. The first is called prediction obsession.
Random events.
As just explained, key concept, the subconscious constantly predicts by learning from patterns. But this only works when events follow predictable patterns. If the event is truly random, there's no way to accurately predict it. The subconscious may create non-existent prediction patterns, misleading our decisions. Researchers conducted an experiment with rats in a maze, having left-right paths. Food was randomly placed at one end, 60% left, 40% right. After several runs, rats quickly learned left had higher odds, so they always chose left, achieving 60% success rate. Researchers repeated this with Yale undergraduates. Intriguingly, these students insisted on finding patterns to perfectly predict food location every time.
Crucially, while food appeared more often left, each placement was random. No method guaranteed 100% accuracy.
Ultimately, students only got food 52% of the time, worse than rats. The second flaw of emotion is overvaluing immediate rewards. Emotion understands immediate costs but struggles with future ones, making us impulsive for quick gains. Take shopping. With cash, money instantly leaves your hand. We feel the cost viscerally, but credit cards abstract transactions. Getting goods without payment pain lowers our guard. Many with credit cards get addicted to swiping, feeling like free shopping, until the bill brings regret.
Hence, financial advisors often recommend ditching credit cards to curb overspending.
The third flaw is loss aversion. This means losing hurts more than gaining the same amount pleases. Losing $20 in a bet causes pain that winning $20 can't fix. Maybe $30 to $40 is needed to compensate. Loss aversion makes us reduce immediate losses but risk greater long-term ones. Take stock investing. Many investors habitually sell winning stocks while holding losing ones long-term. Their reasoning: if I keep winning stocks and they drop later, I'll regret it. Better cash out now. As for losing stocks, selling locks in losses, so I'll hold hoping to break even. Result: selling winners too early limits gains, failing to offset long-term losses from holding losers. Ultimately, no profit. All right, let's summarize part 1. Emotions drive many decisions. Without emotions, one can't weigh pros and cons to decide. Additionally, subconscious intuition predicts outcomes, yet emotions have limits. They make us predict randomness, chase instant rewards, avoid losses, leading to bad choices. Precisely due to these limits, we need reason's help in decisions. Now, part 2. What are reason's roles and limitations? The author identifies 2 decision-making functions for reason. First, examining and suppressing impulsive emotions. As established, emotions drive decisions, but some help, some harm. E.g., a dieter craving chocolate cake, indulging that impulse clearly backfires. Reason helps analyze emotions' origins and consequences. If reason deems an emotion harmful, it can suppress or ignore it. When reason malfunctions, people act recklessly without considering consequences. Consider Mary Jackson, a 19-year-old Ivy League sophomore. Studious, bright future, but sophomore summer, she suddenly spiraled. Frequent bars, hookups with strangers, even drugs. Mary couldn't understand why. She just couldn't control impulses or resist temptation. Neuroscientist Kenneth Heilman from University of Florida examined Mary. He discovered Mary's actions weren't driven by internal goals, but entirely by external stimuli. Whatever she saw, Mary wanted to touch and possess it, never considering meaning or consequences, acting purely on instinct.
Heilman's MRI scan revealed a tumor compressing Mary's prefrontal cortex.
This region primarily handles rational thinking. Its damage destroyed Mary's ability to rationally evaluate and regulate emotions, leading to repeated poor decisions. Reason's second function: abstract logical thinking to find novel solutions. While subconscious intuition predicts based on experience, when facing entirely new problems with no past reference, subconscious intuition can't provide predictive emotional signals. In such cases, only reason can devise new solutions. The book cites Wagner Dodge, a veteran firefighter. In 1949, he led crews to Man Gulch, Montana to fight a wildfire. Dodge found the fire too massive to control. Under high heat and winds, a 60-meter firestorm raced toward firefighters. Facing death, panic took over, emotions screamed, "Run!" But Dodge knew the fire's speed would overtake them. He had a flash of insight. Dodge lit grass around himself, creating a burn zone. He lay in the scorched earth with a wet handkerchief over his face, letting the fire bypass him. Only 3 of 13 firefighters survived, Dodge among them. His escape technique became standard firefighting procedure, saving countless lives. No one had ever survived such an inferno before, but Dodge did. Thinking to burn grass for survival relied on situational analysis and logical deduction. He realized grass was fuel, enabling fires spread. Logically, finding grass-free areas would provide safety. By creating his own clearing, Dodge demonstrated abstract problem-solving, a capability unique to reason. Now that we've covered reason's roles, next let's discuss its limitations. The author outlines 2 flaws of reason. The first is overthinking. This means excessive thinking suppresses emotional feedback, causing judgment errors. Psychologist Timothy Wilson at University of Virginia had students evaluate 5 strawberry jams. One group didn't analyze. They simply tasted and ranked by preference. The second group wrote detailed reasons for preferences before ranking. Food experts provided authoritative quality rankings. The non-thinking group's rankings closely matched experts.
Their top 2 and bottom 2 jams aligned perfectly with expert choices.
This shows people are natural jam experts. Brains automatically identify satisfying flavors. The thinking group's evaluation significantly deviated from experts. Well, they ranked worst jam as best. Why did thinking worsen choices? Wilson believes thinking focuses attention on easily verbalized features, e.g., thinkers analyzed packaging and spreadability. But these details hardly affect eating experience. Complex sensory experiences like flavor nuances resist rational analysis. Recall, reason can suppress emotions. Focusing on rational features narrows perspective, ignoring emotional feedback until reason distorts true feelings. Reason's second flaw: single quote limited attention span. Psychologist George Miller noted reason handles about 7 information chunks simultaneously. Try remembering 7 numbers while doing other tasks. You'll struggle to focus or forget the numbers. Rational thinking consumes attention, which is finite. Information overload beyond attention limits cripples reason, causing bad decisions. Some scientists are more pessimistic, believing that thinking about problems with more than 4 factors simultaneously causes reason to collapse. In the 1980s, psychologists conducted an experiment with MIT students. They first had students choose a stock portfolio, then divided them into 2 groups. One group only saw stock price changes without knowing the reasons. The other group received constant financial information, watching news, reading the Wall Street Journal, consulting experts for market analysis. Surprisingly, the less informed group earned twice as much money as the well-informed group. This happened because the well-informed group got addicted to news and expert analyses. Information overload made them overconfident in predicting markets, leading to more frequent trading. But excessive information actually distracted them, making it impossible to distinguish useful from useless data. So, hence they ended up earning less. With that, let's summarize part 2. Reason helps examine emotions, suppress impulses, and find new solutions through logical thinking. But reason has limitations. It may distort true feelings or fail under information overload. Now, part 3. How to coordinate reason and emotion for optimal decisions in different situations. I'll summarize the author's view into 3 principles. First principle: when facing novel problems or simple choices, fully rely on reason and minimize emotional interference. Novel problems lack past references and require innovative solutions, like treating new epidemics, inventing longer-lasting batteries, or escaping rare crises as discussed.
Simple choices involve few quantifiable factors.
For example, buying Bluetooth earphones, some prioritize looks, but many focus on just 3 factors: price, sound quality, battery life. These factors have quantifiable standards without emotional bias. Then one can decide by identifying the top priority and comparing options. As for how few factors count as few, that varies per person. Some people have more developed frontal cortices, handling 7 or 8 factors simultaneously. Others max out at 4 or 5. Second principle: delivery. For complex choices, engage moderate thinking while valuing emotional intuition. Complex choices involve numerous factors, especially when emotional elements are included. Car buying exemplifies this, considering at least a dozen factors: price, fuel efficiency, seating, acceleration, safety features, AC performance, etc. Many factors involve unquantifiable preferences without objective standards, like design aesthetics or tactile feel. Pure rational analysis risks cognitive overload and overthinking while ignoring emotional feedback. Effective strategy: rationally narrow to 3 to 4 cars meeting basic needs, then let intuition pick the best feeling option. Third principle: for uncertainty-laden problems, encourage diverse perspectives and integrate reason with emotion. Car factors may be numerous but are known and fixed. Life often involves uncertainty, e.g., stocks. Even thriving companies may decline due to policy shifts or tech disruptions. Facing uncertainty, lasting success requires both rational thought and emotional awareness. MIT Sloan professor Andrew Lo monitored 10 traders' physiological indicators: heart rate, blood pressure, intensifying with stronger emotions. These indicators rose higher.
These traders made over 1,000 decisions daily, involving $40 million.
Andrew tracked decision outcomes and found the worst choices occurred during extreme emotional calm or agitation. Andrew concluded that overreacting to gains or losses is harmful, but feeling nothing about profits or losses is equally dangerous. How to coordinate reason and emotion amid uncertainty.
Key: maintain openness to diverse perspectives, expanding vision and flexibility to navigate change.
The author provides 4 recommendations. First, pay attention to negative emotional feedback. As mentioned, the subconscious learns from experience and sends advance emotional warnings. Well, if an idea causes unease, skilled decision makers examine the source rather than suppressing emotions, considering if information was missed. Second, encourage competing hypotheses. E.g., if you expect a stock to rise, you might focus only on positive news while ignoring negatives. For comprehensive analysis, assume the stock will fall. Gather evidence under that premise to overcome narrow thinking. Third, constantly remind yourself of unknowns. Even precise calculations can be destroyed by unexpected events. We easily assume low probability events won't occur. Thus, complacency sets in. Every poker player has held a strong hand feeling certain, only to lose to a better one. When deciding, repeatedly ask, where might uncertainty cause surprises? This reduces unexpected risks. Fourth, in teamwork, use CRM strategy, cockpit resource management. It originated in aviation. In the 1970s, NASA conducted a major study analyzing pilot errors. The conclusion: many cockpit errors stemmed from captains' overconfidence in judgments. Had captains consulted crew or considered alternatives, many errors could have been avoided. CRM aims to create open communication and diverse perspectives. The captain isn't a dictator. The whole crew collaborates constantly. Anyone can spot and report errors. If fuel is low, mechanics must ensure pilots recognize severity. If co-pilots believe captains make wrong decisions, they must object. Today, CRM extends beyond aviation. Industries like healthcare use it to encourage team communication and reduce errors. The Nebraska Medical Center trained surgical teams and CRMs starting in 2005. Before training, only 21% of cardiac surgeries were problem-free. After training, this rate quickly increased to 62%. All right, let's summarize part 3. When facing novel problems or simple choices, fully rely on reason. For complex choices, engage moderate thinking and trust intuition. For uncertain problems, encourage diverse perspectives and integrate reason with emotion. By now, we've covered most of how to make right decisions from this book. Right? Historically, people believed reason surpassed emotion, but both evolved to help us understand ourselves and the world. We must skillfully use reason to analyze problems while heeding emotional guidance to find fulfilling life paths. So, how to make the right decisions? This concludes our interpretation of the book. Reading notes are below the audio. See you next time.